Welcome to Communicative English class. In this class, we will discuss word stress and polysyllabic words. So you know that polysyllabic word means if a word has more than 3 syllables, then that word is called polysyllabic word. Okay? Generally, these words are formed by adding prefixes. Prefixes means either it's a suffix or prefix. Okay, so these when polysyllabic words are formed when an affix is added to the root word. So most of the the stress for polysyllabic words, most of the rules are based on their affixes. Okay, of course, always there is a violation of rule, but on an whole we can follow a rule for the polysyllabic words. So as the length of the word is long, so we have 2 stresses, right? One is called primary stress and the second one is called secondary stress. So don't be afraid of 2 stresses, because stress itself becomes a difficult topic first of all, right? But no, we don't feel any difficulty in identifying primary stress and secondary stress. There is a simple logic and we'll come to know. Okay, so if you ask me that what is secondary stress and what is primary stress means, primary stress means the syllable which receives the primary stress will be uttered a little bit louder, a little bit longer, a little bit stronger, right? And the syllable which receives the secondary stress is lower than the syllable which receives primary stress. Okay, you will understand when we deal with the examples. See this. So to give you a better picture, just I copied this picture from the net. See this, these are all, some are trisyllabic and some are polysyllabic words. If you identify the primary stress, okay, the primary stress is marked on and above the syllable, and the secondary stress is marked below the syllable, right? See this, academic. So this is one syllable, this is one syllable, academic. Okay, that means this has 4 syllables, polysyllabic word. So the primary stress is on the second syllable from the end, and the secondary stress is on the first syllable. When we tell the when we define the stress for polysyllabic words, so how to say means, actually stress mark always be expressed from the end, not from the beginning. That means that the stress is second syllable from the end. Okay, that is one way of telling. Otherwise you can say this, the stress is on penultimate syllable. That means this one is ultimate syllable, this is penultimate, and this one is anti-penultimate. So you can tell it in 2 ways, either the stress is on the second syllable from the end, or the stress is on the penultimate syllable. Okay, all right. Academic. See this, apologetic, economic, explanation, deliberation, environmental, generosity, phenomenology. If you identify the pattern here, primary stress and secondary stress are not in a row. There is one more syllable left. Okay, see this one here, see this. This is the stressed word. This is right here, this one. Here we have one syllable left. Okay, in this case second syllable, in this case PLA, in this case 2 syllables are left. Okay, sorry, 1 syllable is left. Here RON, NE, Okay, ME. If you identify, so there is one syllable gap between secondary stress and primary stress. So primary stress always comes at the on the last syllables, but secondary stress comes before the beginning syllables, either first or second. See this one, either first or second. Okay, so that's the logic that you need to observe. Right here, okay, see this. So when suffix self is added, then where the stress is. Okay, so here while forming stress rules, it is really difficult following a rule and applying the stress. Always we should accept, or we should think of what our ears accept, because unintentionally when we listen to a native speaker speech or anything else, automatically some picture is formed in our brain where the stress is. Okay, but when it is wrongly pronounced, we feel that something is odd. Okay, so actually you can follow your intuition regarding the stress. See this, in these cases, myself, yourself, himself, herself, themselves. What your intuition says, can you repeat, can you utter this word myself or myself? Okay, yes, it is your ears accept when you give stress on self, not myself. Okay, all right, we'll see. Okay, so this is the slide with the phonetic transcription, so that you can easily identify the syllabic division and the stress mark. You see this one, myself, yourself, himself, herself, themselves. Okay, that means the stress is on the suffix itself when self is added to pronouns. This is one rule. Okay, right, let us move to the second rule. Yes, when these suffixes are added, if you observe these suffixes here, these suffixes end with vowel sound. See that A-R-E, A-R, that R is, unpronounced. E-R, E-R, I-E-R, E-R, E-E, right? That means these suffixes which end with the vowel sound, then these have one stress rule, that is, see this, which let us take this simple word, okay, payee or rupee or employee. Where do you give stress? Whatever intuition says. Do you say employee or employee? Right? So your ears will accept when you give stress on the suffix itself. That means let us watch this slide. Okay, see this word, millionaire, near, millionaire. This one, questionnaire, engineer, profiteer, marketeer, addressee, payee, employee, and rupee. Okay, so the suffix itself receives stress. Okay, when you have ending with IE or EE or ARE or EE. Okay, next. Next, shun rule. So you know that many nouns are formed with this suffix shun. Okay, beautification, there are many, negotiation, many nouns are formed with the shun. So what is the rule for this one? When the suffix shun is added, where is the stress? See, where do you give stress here? Vacation, So let us pronounce this with the 3 variations. Right. Let us take this one. Preparation. Pre, that is 1 syllable. Pa-ra-tion. So generally primary stress is on the last 3 syllables. If you give stress on the 3rd syllable or anti-penultimate syllable, how do you pronounce preparation? Preparation. Is it acceptable? No. Next. If you put stress on the penultimate syllable, preparation. If you give stress on the last syllable, preparation, which is acceptable. When you give stress on the syllable before the suffix, then it is acceptable. Preparation. Okay. So now we can form a rule that when the suffix shun is added to a word, then the stress falls on the syllable before the suffix. Okay. So let us take this one. First divide the word into syllables and then give stress, then it will be easy for us to pronounce. So you can mark the syllabic division with the this line or dot. Improvisation. So where will be the secondary stress? Definitely the secondary stress is on the second syllable from the beginning. Improvisation. Right. Next, organization. Organize. Okay. Let's do this one, then it will be easier for you. Okay. Right. Okay. See, it's clear now. Vacation. Improvisation. So the stress is on the first syllable. Improvisation. Next, probation. As this is the second syllable, so that's why there is no secondary stress. Probation. Next, organization. Preparation. Reception. Investigation. Donation. Recognition. Application. Okay. So in this shun rule, the syllable before the suffix receives the stress. Okay. Next, when suffix ic or ical, okay, is added, then where the stress falls. Look at where the stress falls. See this. IC, this is a mono, it has only 1 syllable, but when you take this ICAL, there are 2 syllables in the suffix itself. Okay, but see that we don't count how many syllables in the suffix itself, but what we count is the syllable before the suffix will receive the stress. Okay, you don't mind about whether the suffix has 1 syllable or 2 syllables. So you take suffix as a unit and you give stress on the syllable before the suffix. See this one, you will find here. Okay, see, biological. So here ICAL is the, okay, ICAL is the right. ICAL, this is the suffix. Okay, so the syllable before the suffix. So biological. Okay, here IC is the suffix. Domestic. Next, here ICAL, this is the suffix. So astronomical. Next, IC, patriotic. Next, ICAL, political. Next, realistic. Next, historical. IC, right, artistic. Next, electric. Did you identify whether it is IC or ICAL? The syllable before the suffix is receiving stress. So this is rule for IC and ICAL. Then look at the next one, ITY, IOUS and EOUS. Okay. So here ITY, here this syllable, this suffix also has two syllables. Okay. Right. But even though the syllable before the suffix will receive the stress. Now let us see this slide, it will be clear. Right. See this ITY. This is the suffix capacity. Next, probability, ITY, probability, activity, opportunity, possibility, commodity, curiosity, this ITI. Okay. Next, IOUS. The IOUS is pronounced as us, delicious, not sheers, delicious, courageous, courageous. Next, obnoxious, simultaneous, spontaneous, melodious. Next, vicious. Okay. To identify even IOUS, EOS or ITY, the syllable before the suffix will receive the stress. So for what you have understood, so for any suffix except that self or E or IE or, okay, for remaining almost all the suffixes, the syllable before the suffix is receiving the stress. Even in the next case, IAL, IALLY, here also the same. Okay. See this one, IAL or IALLY. So IALLY means here also the syllable, the suffix has two syllables. See this, ceremonial, official, essential, artificial, industrial, memorial, sacrificial, medial. Okay. So the stress, the second, the syllable before the suffix. Next, graphy or lazy. Okay. So when these suffixes are added, then the stress is also on the syllable before the suffix. Bibliography, biography, orthography, radiography, choreography, zoology, psychology, anthropology, biology, theology. Okay. So the syllable before the suffix. Okay. Let's do some exercise here. Let's do some exercise here. ITY. The first one is sincerity. So ITY. So let us first divide the word into syllables. Okay. Sincerity. Sincerity. So as per the rule, ITY, a word ending with ITY, then the syllable before the suffix will receive stress. Sincerity. Okay. Next, shun rule. Curve up, shun. So the syllable before it. So here the stress is on the second R, corruption. Next one, LOGY. Okay. Apology. Apology. Here the syllable before the suffix. Next, ATE. Okay. Frustrate. So here it is a disyllabic word. Okay. Frustrate. Frustrate. But here in a disyllabic word, here the stress is on the suffix itself, frustrate. Next one, exasperate. It's a trisyllabic word ending with ATE. Okay. Exasperate. Okay. Exasperate. Next one, punctuality. ITY. Punctuality. So here the stress is on the syllable punctuality. Next, refugee. Okay. So the stress is on the suffix itself, this e, right? refugee. Next, ent, diligent, diligent. Next, tic, pay, tree, otic, patriotic, unwo. Okay, the syllable before the suffix. Next, compulsory, compulsory. Okay. Next, itic, domestic, domestic, right? Compulsory. Next, corrupt. So in disyllabic word, when it is a verb, then the stress is on the second syllable. It's a one rule. Corrupt. Next, crazy. Okay, so democracy, democracy. Next, tion, vacation, vacation. Next, ity, activity, activity. Next, lify, amplify. So here, amplify. So if it is a verb, we say amplify. Next, nation. So as it is a noun, disyllabic word, and the stress is on the first syllable, nation. Next, receptive, receptive, sorry, here, receptive. Next, graduation. So the stress is on the syllable before the suffix, graduation. Okay, so overall what we should understand is, if it is a disyllabic word, then if that word functions as a noun and also adjective and also verb, then you have one rule. If it is a noun or adjective, then the stress is on the first syllable. If it is a verb, then the stress is on the second syllable. That is one rule. When you are coming to the polysyllabic words, okay, or when the suffix is added, then where stress is given, that what we discussed. Except self or ie or e or ee, for all the remaining suffixes, we give stress on the second syllable before the suffix. That is simply, you just remember the thing. Okay, of course there are violations, but here and there, so far it's okay. Okay, thank you.